Everything in your life, everything in my life is a reflection of how we view ourselves. So if you don't like what you have to change what you see. Welcome to the Third Quarter Podcast. I'm your host, Ace, and you know I am blessed by the best, but guess what? So are you. And this about to be one in them ones. This is going to be one in them ones. This is the episode where we talk about just how dope you are. Maybe you just need to hear it. Maybe you just need to hear how dope you are because you're dope. So if you're struggling with your self-confidence, you're struggling with believing in yourself, you got limiting beliefs, we're going to shatter all of that in the next 15 minutes. Because this is going to be one of them ones. This is the one that you play over and over and over and over and over again. This is one of them ones. But before we get into that, if you haven't done it yet, it would mean the world to me if you would take 60 seconds, maybe 45, if you could push it, to subscribe, follow, rate us 5 stars, and leave a kind review, or at least just one of those 3 would be fantastic. It helps us out more than you know. Now let's get into you. Let's get into you real quick. You dope. You dope. You dope. I don't care what your mama said. I don't care what your daddy said. I don't care what your ex said. I don't care what your circumstances say. I don't care about what the environment says. I do not care. You are dope. You got so much to offer. It's crazy. There are things that you can do, and there is something that you do so uniquely well that no one else you know can do it like you. That's how dope you are. There's only one of you. There's only one. Like, you so dope, it's only one of you. That's how dope you are. There is nothing else in this world. There's just one. The grocery store got a lot of ones. It's a lot of apples. It's a lot of oranges. It's a lot of rices. Yeah, I put plurals on that. It's a lot of rices. But you ain't going to go to a grocery store and it's just one apple. That would be crazy. But there's just one of you. Out of all the things that's been created in this world, there's only going to be one of you. That's how dope you are. We are never going to see or hear anything like you ever again. So if that's not enough for you to believe that's how dope you are, I don't know if you need to listen to the next 10 minutes. But if that spoke to your spirit, if you were like, hell yeah, I'm dope, then I want you to listen to this. You so dope. How dope am I, Ace? You so dope that you have an assignment on your life that can change the world. You have an assignment. You have a gift. You have a calling so strong on your life that you are going to change other people's lives. You're going to change your family life, your friend's life, strangers' life. You're going to change people's life. That's how dope you are. You are so dope that you are going to make other people's lives doper. What? Dope man, yeah, that's me. You so dope that you are going to make other people's lives doper. But here's the catch. It can only happen if you recognize how dope you are. It starts with you. When you recognize how dope you are, when you recognize how powerful you are, when you recognize how special you are, that's when the game changes. It only happens when you recognize it. That's why I need you. These 15 minutes, I need you to get this into your spirit. You're dope as hell. You are dope. You have a footprint that is so unique that there is never going to be anybody that has that exact footprint. So it is your responsibility to leave a mark on this world that no one else can fill. We're just going to build off of what you've done, but we can't do it like you. Once you recognize how dope you are, how special, the game is over. The drama stops. The toxic relationships are done. Working at a job that you hate, you're not doing that anymore because it's wasting your dopeness. You are so dope. There is somebody out there that is just as dope as you that wants to make dope life with you. There's somebody out there, right? That is like, man, I wish there was someone dope like me. And then y'all gonna meet at Chipotle, and then y'all gonna fall in love, and then it's gonna be y'all gonna have some dope kids. They gonna change the world because mommy and daddy did it first. Like, that's how dope you are. But when you recognize how dope you are, you realize that you can't settle for anything else other than dope. When you don't realize how dope you are, you start settling for whack. For real, like, until you recognize just how special you are, until that point, you settling. That's in anything. How can you have something of great quality if you don't know how quality you are first? It doesn't make sense. Like attracts like. So until you recognize how special you are, you're going to be settling in pretty much every area of your life. Because I'm going to tell you this. Your health is a direct reflection of how you see yourself. If you view yourself as someone that's dope, unique, and special, you're going to treat your body as such. You're not going to put stuff in your body. You're not going to do things to your body that is going to limit your special dopeness. You're not going to do it. The quality of relationships you have is based purely on how you see yourself. If you see yourself as special, dope, unique, one of a kind, never gonna see this again, never, ever, 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 you're not settling for a janky joker. You're not settling for someone that just you have good conversation with, or they cute, or he fine. You're not just settling for that. You want something deeper because you're here to leave a mark on the world, not just exist in it. So you can't just have just anybody. You gotta have a special someone. Someone that understands your work ethic, someone that understands that sacrifice, someone that understands the cross that you're carrying. Equally yoked is important because you have to have someone that understands. You can't just have anyone like you up here, you're staying up late, you're waking up early, you're getting a routine, and they mad. You don't spend time with me no more. How come you don't do this? How come you always working on your thing? How come you ain't got no time for me? You don't need to have that in your life. Now, there are seasons when we should sacrifice, pull back, but by and large, you have to have someone in your life that's watering your grass, not cutting it. But you can't get that unless you understand how dope you are. Everything in your life, everything in my life is a reflection of how we view ourselves. So if you don't like what you have to change what you see. Oh my goodness. If you don't like what you have, you got to change what you see. So if you're looking at yourself and you don't see something special, you're going to settle. You're going to have a life of mediocrity. You're going to have terrible relationships. You're going to be working at a place you don't enjoy. You're going to be punching in and punching out. Every day is going to feel like I'm just getting by because you're not recognizing how dope you are. God has a special calling on your life, but he can't make you see yourself how he sees you. That's your job. That's my job. And hopefully this podcast is helping you see just how dope you are because you dope. You don't need to compare yourself. You don't need to look at what someone else got going on. Man, run your own race. Know how dope you are. You are special. You are unique. You are one of a kind. There's no one going to be like you until the end of time. So don't waste your time with someone that doesn't view themselves the same way. But you have to stop going through life being a victim. You got to stop going through life carrying yesterday's mistakes or yesterday's decisions or yesterday's relationship or shortcomings or failures. Man, you got to stop because it's getting in the way of how you see yourself. You are labeling yourself of your mistakes. You're looking at your mistakes and then you're labeling yourself a mistake. There's a difference between failing and being a failure. There's a difference between failing and being a failure. And you're looking at yourself as a failure because you came up short. No. You can be a winner and fail. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jordan is the greatest winner ever. But in order to be the greatest winner ever, you have to lose first. You have to fail. You have to come up short because you got to know what works and what doesn't. And you have to be battle tested. So yeah, like you're gonna get lumps, you're gonna get bruises, you're gonna get cut up, you're gonna bleed, but that doesn't mean you're not dope. That means you built for this. You're built for this. Yeah, you're going through a tough time. Okay, so what? You're going through hardship. Okay, so what? You built for this. You're dope. God is not going to allow something that you cannot handle. He's not going to put stuff on your plate that breaks you down. The only way we break down is when we bring things on our plate that he didn't sign to be there. That's when we get worried. That's when we get stressed. That's when we get anxiety and we break down and we need mental health days. I'm all for mental health days, but sometimes we got to understand that some of the things that's draining us mentally is our own doing. Because when you don't recognize how special you are, you start to put your attention in things that don't need your attention. You start dabbling in things that isn't your lane. You start hanging around with people that's not for you. When you realize how special you are, man, you don't want to mess with that. You want to be around the right people. You want to do the right things. You're all about alignment. Alignment is the key. And when you recognize how dope you are, you only want to be aligned with the things that's for you. You don't want to be anywhere else but what you're aligned in. And you will know the career path. You will know the relationship. You will know the job, the content, the book. You will know everything you're supposed to be doing when you're in alignment. Why? Because it's going to flow through you. One of the things you got to understand is that while you're waiting on a blessing, God wants you to be the blessing. You are the blessing. He's operating through you. So when you're looking at certain people and you're saying, man, everything's coming so easy to her, so easy to them, it's because they're in what's called a flow state. You probably heard that, a flow state. What's a flow state? It simply just means it is a new way, a modern way of saying that person's in alignment. That's all it is. They are in the position they're supposed to be in. And when you're in the position, I can do all things through Christ that gives me strength. That means that can only come true when you're in alignment. And when you're in alignment, right, everything that is for you will come to you. That's a principle. I can do all things through Christ that gives me strength. I am not trying to preach here. I'm just keeping it 100. Okay? Alignment is key. So when you understand how dope you are, then you will also understand that I just want to be aligned. I want to do what's for me. I ain't trying to jump in nobody else's stuff. I just want to find what's for me. What's my lane? What's my niche? What's my niche? What's my niche? What's my thing? I just want to be in my thing. And when you find your thing, that's when the money starts coming to you. That's when the relationships start coming to you. That's when the opportunities start coming to you, because now you're in your spot to be seen. You're in your spot now. You're in your sweet spot. You're like a fish in the ocean and a bird in the sky. You just there. You're in your zone. But you can't get there unless you understand how dope you are, how great you are, how gifted, how special, how talented you are. When you own that, when you're certain in your identity and you're planting your flag in who you are, and you're like, yo, this is who I am. This is who I'm not. I'm dope. I don't care what they said. I don't care what my past said. I know who I am right now. Once you get there and you get in alignment, the game is over. You are unstoppable. You are unbreakable. You are unshakable. And you're going to do everything in your power to stay in that spot for as long as you can until it's time for you to move to a different spot. But it starts with you seeing yourself in that way. You cannot get things of high quality if you're operating from a low quality mentality. It's not going to work. Nothing great in this world came from doubt. I doubt I can build this airplane. It ain't going to be built. Nothing in this world was built by doubt. It was built despite of doubt. Recognize how dope you are. Understand that you are a one of one. From the beginning of time to the end of time, Your footprint is going to stand alone. There is not going to be another footprint that looks like you. There's not going to be another person that's going to have the voice that you have, the impact you have, none of that. There's only one me. There's only one me. No one sounds like me. No one can do a podcast like me. No one can create content like me. No one can speak to people like me. This is me. I am dope. There is no one like me. I'm not competing with anybody. I don't care how many followers they have, how long they've been doing it. None of that. They're not me. If they tried to be me, I'm going to blow up the spot on them 10 out of 10 times. You got people in this world that have been doing this for a while and they're incredible at what they do, but they're not me. They cannot be me. If you try to be Aaron Simpson, I'm going to blow you up 10 out of 10 times because you can't do it like me. You could put words together. We could talk about the same thing, but you can't deliver it like me. I'm unique. And so are you. So I need you to understand how dope you are, because once you see yourself in that way, everything changes. The way you move, the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you eat, who you talk to, who you don't, your relationships, everything changes when you recognize just how dope you are. In closing, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to repeat after me. I am dope. I am dope. I am dope. I am dope. Get this into your spirit. This is who you are. You listening to this right now, you are dope. You are elite. You are extravagant. You are terrific. You are special. You are beautiful. You are all of that in a bag of them Dorito chips. But it's one thing for me to say it. It's another thing for you to believe it. Start believing in you. Because once you do, this world will never be the same. Not just your world, but the world. I hope this episode blessed you. If someone came to mind, please share it with them. It means more than you know to help people, because you never know what they're dealing with in that moment. Be safe, be blessed. I love you so much, and thank you for listening to the Third Quarter Podcast.